How are you? This is Dr. Zainab Shakir from Department of Materials, Faculty of Engineering at University of Kufa. Today I would like to present in this lesson some of prepositions and conjunctions. Before proceeding on our subject today, we have to learn about the difference between phrases and clause. Let's take it up as important point because it has a really and close relationship with our topics today. A clause and a phrase are different important terms because the clause and the phrase are both parts of a sentence. A clause is a group of words that consist of a subject and verb. Consist of subject and verb. You see here, it is part of sentence. Consist of subject and verb. Let's take example. He loved. He loved. He is a subject. Love it is a verb. The guests arrived. Guests is subject and arrived is the verb. You see here it's semi-sentence. But what about the phrase? A phrase is a group of words that doesn't consist on a subject and verb. Doesn't consist of a subject and verb. Example, on a table. There's no subject and no verb here. Enter the tree. Near the wall. On the roof. At the door. Both the clause and the phrase maybe exist within a sentence. For instance, read the following. This is one sentence. Example, he is sleeping on the bed. Where is the clause and where is the phrase? The clause, he is sleeping, and the phrase, on the bed. Today in this lesson will be highlighted the prepositions and conjunction. We have here three prepositions for, since, during, and also we'll study the use of conjunction. Conjunction. Conjunction example like while. Thus, in this lesson, we have three objectives. First, to study the preposition for, since, during. Second, to study the difference between the preposition and the conjunction. Finally, to have extensive exercise and avoid the grammatical errors. I give here more details. 4. It's used to length or measure the time. When you ask it by using how long, it can be used in your answer 4. It's used with all tenses. Example, he played with his sister for 2 hours. He has played with friends for 3 hours. Since, it's used to specify the start period of times and the end. It is often used with the present perfect tense. Example, they have known each other since last school year. It starts since last school year and to this moment. During, it's used when you talk about event or something happened within the period of time. It's followed by noun and answer the question when. When somebody asks you when, your answer will include during. Example, we could solve many difficult questions during last meeting. While, when you have two actions started together and happen in same time, two actions that happen at the same time, you have to use while. It is followed by subject and verb. While plus subject plus verb. It can be used with progressive tenses, continuous tenses, and simple tenses. Here, an example for using the word while. We see a lot of dolphins while we were serving. While the baby sleeps, I will read my message in my email box. 4. Describe a duration of time, as I mentioned before, and this means from the start of the period until the end of the period. So, 4 is followed by period of time, and we use with all the verb tenses, with all of them. So, we can use it with the past, present, and the future. Also, we can use with the present continuous, past simple continuous, past perfect continuous, etc. Now let's look at the since. Since define a point in time in the past, so this is a specific moment in time. Since in fact give us the starting point, it defines when things started. And also since mean a starting point of the time in the past until now, until the present. So, since followed by a point in time from the past, and we usually use a simple with a perfect tenses. Example: He has been watching TV since 7 p.m. So here the present perfect continuous. Another example: My parents have lived in London since 1996. This is the present perfect. Have lived is the present perfect. So again, notice this is since followed by a specific point in time. Here it is a year, 1996. And in the first example, it is a time, 7 p.m. Let's look at the preposition during. During is used to mention when something happened now, just when something happened. You don't need to use during when talking about a specific time period. So just when something happened, and the preposition during is always followed by a noun. Okay, it is pretty simple. Now let's look at the following examples. We had to call a doctor during the night. Can I speak to you during the break? Please note that we can't use during with a specific or a period of time. Example, during 5 minutes, during 6 weeks. Now, let's have a look at the conjunction while. Let's understand first when and how do we use the conjunction while. While is used when you talk or we talk about two things happening at the same time. Two things happen at the same time. Okay, so we end up using the conjunction or any other proposition while. Here it's while when we talk about two things that happen at the same time. We end up using while when we talk about two things that happen at the same time. Also remember that while is always followed by the subject and verb. While is followed by subject and verb. Now, once you understand this, trust me, you will be great when you end up using any of these conjunctions. Here, let's look at this example. First, while I was getting ready, I listened to the radio. I met my wife while I was at university. We saw a lot of dolphins while we were serving. I will read this news while the baby has a nap. While the baby sleeps, I will read all my message in my email box. As you see, during and while are used to describe two things happening at the same time. Both of them use to describe two things happening at the same time. So now what's the difference between during and while? First, both means two things are happening at the same time. During is a proposition and while is a conjunction. إذا during here حرف جر while here أداة عطف أو ربط لجملتين. Second, during is followed by a noun while is followed by a sentence. In another meaning, in another word, while is followed by the subject and verb, as I presented before, and during is followed by a noun phrase representing the other event which is also happening. الآن هو while يكون بعدها جملة متكاملة بها فعل وفاعل لأن هي أداة عطف جملة تعطف على جملة أخرى أما حرف الجر هنا يتبعه اسم فقط. Now it is time to check you. So go ahead, take a test and we'll back with a new and another lessons. Preposition. What is the preposition? Preposition is the word that link nouns, pronouns, or phrases together in sentence within the sentence. They act to connect the people, object, time, in, and locations of sentence. Prepositions are also usually short words like on, in, at, usually stand in front of nouns, pronouns, sometimes also in front of gerund verb. And what is the gerund verb? Gerund verb, the verb that have ing. We can classify preposition to preposition of time, preposition of place, preposition of special relationships. This classification is the general and most popular one. Preposition. Preposition of time. Preposition of time is a word that allow you to discuss a specific time period. Example here, at, in, on. At is used to discuss clock time, holidays, and festival, and other specific time frames, including exceptions such as at night. At night. You see here, it's used with times of day, 4 o'clock, at 4 o'clock, at 10:30, at noon, at midnight, also with meal times, at lunchtime, at dinner time, holidays, at Christmas, at Easter, at the weekend, also expressions at present, at the moment, at night. In is used to discuss month, season, years, centuries, the general times of day and longer period of the past in the past. So in with months in April, season in the summer, in the spring, years in 1990, decades in the 18th centuries in the 20th century, long period in the ice age, in the present, in the past, parts of the day, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, and here's the exceptional use with night at night. On is a preposition that use to discuss certain days of the week or portion of days. specific date and special days such as on New York days. You see here days on Thursday, on Saturday, on my birthday, on Christmas Day, on Halloween. Dates like on 15th June, 20 May, on our anniversary, parts of the specific day, on Monday morning, in Friday evening, on Saturday night, on Sunday afternoon. And with last and next, you have to avoid using any preposition. Example, call me next week or next weekend, and I met here last Friday. Preposition Preposition of place. Here is a different example to refer to location, to refer to place, to refer to the location, to particular point, to refer to object higher than a point, or using preposition over and above to refer to an object lower than a point. Here an example to refer to location, in, at, and on, to refer to place, in, at, inside. So keep your mind the difference between in and inside. We present about that later. To refer an object close to point, we can use by, near, next to, between, among, and opposite. To refer to object higher than or below a particular point, use beneath, under, underneath, below. Here teacher asks you what difference between in and inside. What difference between in and inside? You see here, maybe people or folks ask you, what class are you in? You said, I am in class 3. And the other maybe answered, you are not in class 3, you are inside class 3. Are you see what the difference? So let me take it up as an important point and explain that. You see here what the difference between the preposition in and inside. In something to be placed or participate something. You see here an example, I am in the group. Group is general things and it wasn't surrounded by any boundaries. I am in China. This is referred to the place. You see here in, it's used for place, used with the place, but it is not surrounded by any boundaries or walls. Another example here for inside. Inside, it's opposite outside. You see here, and me physically enclosed by something, enclosed and has some boundaries or confined and surrounded to four walls. Example, the books inside the drawer. This means the books have put it inside something, have boundaries, enclosed by something. Preposition of special relationships is deal with the where. The subject of the sentences is where the actions have taken place. So, example above. Write your name above the line. There's relationship between the line and the name. Relationship between the line and the name. The name have to written above the line. Thus, there's relationship. Across. Draw a line across the page. There's relation between line and page. Thus, we have to draw the line or a line across the page. Ahead of. The girl is ahead of boy. there's relationship between two persons. Along there is lace along the edge of the cloth. There's relationship between the lace and cloth. Among he is among the trees. The relationship between trees. Around draw circle around the answer. Circle and answer. The relationship between them should be a draw circle around the answer. Conjunctions. What the meaning of conjunctions? Conjunctions are words that link other words, phrases, or classes together. Here we can see it's classified into three groups. The first one, coordinating conjunctions. In another word, they coordinate between two words. Example, and, or. Next, subordinating conjunctions. They combine dependent clause with independent clause, or, in another word, join two sentences together. Example, when, while. Finally, correlative conjunctions. They are used in pairs. Example, neither and nor. Here we use the while and focus of using the while.